And we are back from our break. So, last we left off, boys, you just survived your first encounter with witch elves in the clearing before you, where your cover was blown. And through the skin of your teeth, some good rolls and some good tactics, you managed to slay all 3 witch elves, taking damage, but also being poisoned in the process. Though the effects do not appear to be long-lasting, there are detrimental side effects from being poisoned in general, such as now you are both suffering from exhaustion. Marius a little bit more than Seamus, as he decided to grab the cursed blade that was wielded by these creatures and attempt to kill Seamus in the process. So that happened. But yeah, so now you guys heard the explosions and the dirge of battle off in the distance. You're not sure how far away it is. It's not exactly in your immediate vicinity, but you get the idea that perhaps it is closer than you would have hoped it would be. And you are free to do as you will.
I believe we were heading back up to our caravan there.
Okay. So are you guys doing anything else before you go?
I mean, they don't really have anything on them, they're pretty naked.
They were indeed naked. So he's gonna go.
Yes.
Okay.
Seamus, that battle sounds closer than I would like. We should get out of here.
Let's get moving before they show up.
Oh, exactly.
Okay. You can easily find your way back to where you were. The men, as soon as you emerge from the forest, you guys both look haggard and bleeding. Marius more so than Seamus. But Seamus has 2 heads attached at his hip. Very disturbing. And several of the men kind of almost blanched. Kind of, oh. And the woman, the woman with the kind of torn dress and the several wounds on her body kind of calms them down and looks at the 2 of you and doesn't say anything. Obviously, because she can't speak your language. I mean, come on. But
come on.
She does motion for the men to quiet down, and they are open to whatever you guys are up to.
I guess we just kind of motion towards the trail and try to get a move on.
Okay. All right. And the woman does still look, she was wounded severely the day before, so she is still riding on top of one of the kind of stout horses. The other one has the majority of your guys' supplies attached to it. You only have a handful of men left. You have about 6 to 7 men. We'll call it 7. We'll call it 7 men left with you, and of course this one woman. The rest of the people were disappeared off into the brush with the beastmen, and Seamus allowed them to die, per his dark deal.
Yep.
Resigned them to their fate, never to be seen again. So that's all you have with you currently. Seamus, are you going to lead the pack like you were before?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and make me a perception check.
That's pretty good. That's a 9 out of 51.
Okay, your senses are heightened right now after that battle, and you're ready to leave as soon as possible. You pick out what you believe to be the shortest route, following this trail in the direction of the mountain, which you can see now. It's obviously not as tall as the massive gargantuan mountain you climbed a few days back, where you secured these people in the monastery, but it is still a large mountain in its own right. So you can see it through some of the glimpses you get through some of the canopy of the forest. And the canopy is beginning to thin, so you know you're getting close to the mountain. A few hours pass. Nothing crazy happens, but you do, however, keep hearing battle, the sounds of explosions, the sounds of screams, metal on metal in the distance. It must be quite a few people for you to be able to hear it this far away. It's a little unnerving, and all of the men with you look rather nervous themselves. But you keep pressing on. You cover a few more hours, and at this point, the sun is beginning to set. Though you did have overcast pretty much the entire day, it is beginning to get dark, and you get the idea that the sun is going down, and the moons will take their time in the sky. So you are free to bed down if you wish, or you can keep pressing forward. At this point, you are very close to the mountain. Probably within a few hours, you can be at the steps that you took down to get into this forest all those weeks ago, if you so choose.
Probably suggest we take the rest because of our exhaustion, but if Paris wants to push on.
Yeah, probably rest. Question: Do we take a short rest on our walk?
No. That does not count as a short rest.
All right.
If you want to rest, I could say that maybe you took an hour before you started walking, and I will put you guys an hour further out from the mountain if you choose.
No. I'll probably just. Yeah.
All right. So you begin motioning to make camp to the men, and the woman herself kind of looks over at the two of you and begins helping out as best she can with the limited supplies they have now. You only have a couple days, from what you can tell, of supplies to feed this many people. Most of the equipment you started off with is gone during the attack. But they make do. Are you guys taking watches, either of you? Or are you going to allow the Nipponese to take the watches for you?
No, I mean, probably still try to take a watch at least.
Okay. Who's taking first watch?
Oh, I don't know. Seamus probably should.
Yeah, I'll take the first one since he's a little more beat up.
Okay. Seamus, the camp begins to be made, similar to how it was before. You see Marius kind of roll out a makeshift bedroll that he has at this point, and takes his place amongst the men. Do you want another Nipponese man to join you on watch, or are you just doing this by yourself?
Yeah, I'll have another one of those guys.
Okay.
Join.
Or do you want him with you, or you don't want him like on the other side?
I guess that's on the other side.
Okay. All right. You kind of you motion, and they kind of get the idea. They've traveled with you guys long enough to understand your intentions. So, one of the soldiers, this would be the mustachioed man, the great mustachioed man, the kind of pervy mustache, very very thin mustache coming in there, and he takes his place on the opposite side of the camp. Not very big camp, not as many people, but big fire, little fire, or no fire.
What did we do last time? Did we do a big fire or a little fire?
You made a big fire your last camp.
We'll go. Do I still hear those sounds?
Yes, even through the night you hear them.
I'll go a little fire then.
Okay. All right. Is that good with you, Marius?
Yes, it is.
Okay, good. Good. Nothing bad could happen. There's no lions in these woods. It's fine. Yes, indeed. So, with that, Seamus, go ahead and make me a perception check for your watch.
I'll sacrifice the mustachioed man if the lion shows up. That is that's a 58 out of 51.
Okay. Do you want to make it a success, or do you want to re-roll?
Can I wear my mask?
Yeah, I can say that you're wearing the one that allows you to smell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We'll do that. So that's a plus 30. So 2 levels of success for smelling. Failures for sight. Keep that in mind. So, Seamus, you pulled the mask down over your face. Immediately, your senses are dulled, except for your sense of smell, which is heightened. You immediately smell the unwashed bodies of your companions. Specifically, Marius. Marius smells really, really rank. He's been covered in the blood of his enemies. Lots of beastmen died at his hands, so he is covered in just filth. And you can also smell the woman. She smells, like blood as well. She smells unwashed, but there's almost something pleasant about it. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. Out in around the nearby area, you can smell the normal smells of the forest. You smell the leaves, the dirt, that kind of stale, stagnant, earthy smell. It is moist in the air right now, so you also are getting smells of salt. As you know, the ocean is nearby, though you can't see it. And you also smell, drifting on the wind, you can smell smoke, burning fire. And not from your own camp, from a much larger source. And an all too familiar smell of burning bodies along with it. The smell of burnt human flesh. Maybe elf flesh. You're not sure what that smells like, but it might be the same. Who knows? Regardless, it is nearby, and there's also the smell of black powder on the wind. But you do not come across any threats in your time. At least none that you noticed. About halfway through your shift, Seamus, you are approached by the woman. She saunters her way over to you. She never sleeps, apparently. She saunters her way over to you and kind of looks you over. How wounded are you?
I am at full health.
Full health? So she glances over at your wounds, and some of your wounds are unnaturally healed at this point due to the effects of your sword. And you see her kind of study you at places that you had scratches that are no longer there. And she looks a little... You could tell there's a bit of concern on her face as she kind of scrunches her nose together. But other than that, she doesn't say anything. Just kind of sits next to you, watching the fire, and takes the rest of the watch with you, unless you choose to engage her in some way.
I will not. I'll load my crossbow.
Okay, reloading the crossbow, and she's very interested in the way you do it. She's never seen a device like this before. So you begin loading it, and she just kind of watches, silent. As your watch comes up, are you going to wake Marius?
Yeah, if I have any rocks nearby, I'm going to start tossing them at Marius. Try to wake him up.
All right, Seamus, go ahead and make me a ballistic skill test at -10 from your exhaustion to see if you can pelt Marius with a rock and not someone else.
That's an 18.
Okay. I'm sure that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's just regular ballistic skill.
Yeah, just straight up ballistic skill.
Yeah, 36.
Okay, yes. Easily enough, you find like a small rock and toss it, and it just hits Marius right on the side of his head. Pink! Oh! You awake, Marius.
Oh, heathen. Go to bed.
Meredith, what happened? Did something fall out of the tree and hit you?
Oh, but it was you ass. And then I, just Marius gets up, grabs his pick, saunters over to, Seamus's spot.
Okay. Seamus, I'm assuming you moved to your own bedding at this point?
Yes.
Okay. The woman stays seating. Are you going to sit by her, Marius?
Yeah, he'll sit by her. But
you sit by her. You have recovered a point of exhaustion.
Okay.
So you're down to 1. I'll have you guys roll for your hit points if you make it through the rest of the night without engaging in battle. We'll see. As you sit down next to her, Marius, you see that she's kind of looking you over as you approach. I'm sure you look haggard. You don't look quite as good as you normally do. The colors are drained out of your face a little bit, despite your very attractive appearance. You sit down by her and go ahead and give me a perception check, Marius, for your watch.
Okay. That is 39 out of 40.
Okay. All right. So a success. So Marius, as you sit down next to her, you glance over and you notice that you see just a glimpse as her kind of kimono, kind of robe, kind of falls just a little bit over her right shoulder. And you see something that Seamus did not notice previously. She's wearing a very, it looks like a very unique necklace of some kind. It is metal. It appears to be some kind of, maybe silver or the equivalent, whatever they have here. And it's a very simple chain. And then at the end of it, there is some kind of stone set in almost like a pendant. And the stone appears to be a azure blue almost color. It doesn't look like a precious gem. It just looks like just a stone. And as you glance at it, she sees you looking and kind of covers it up. And then she fumbles into her, kind of into like a little pack that she carried over with her, and removes a balm and points towards your eye, where you have the very open wound that you have kind of done your best to bandage up.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to do anything about that, or?
I just I nod at her, assuming that she wants to put the balm on the eye.
Yes. So she peels back the bandages, dips her fingers into almost a cakey, thick kind of, almost like mud substance, and presses it into the wound. It hurts a little bit, and it's kind of gross. It has a very pungent smell. As she kind of works it into there, and you recover 6 wounds.
All right. While she's doing this, I'm gonna try to calmly talk to her, not to try to add suspicion to my tone, you know. So, would say stuff like, if you can't understand me, this will just be me rambling. But if you can, I do appreciate the help you've given Seamus and myself. But I don't understand the deception that you keep on portraying. And once she's done, I kind of point at my chest, like in the center of my chest, kind of where I think her pendant would be. And then I point back at her. This I'm trying to reveal. Like, I do want to know what the pendant is. Just kind of like pointing at it.
Okay.
What's all this then?
She just kind of looks at you, and she looks a little confused.
I have a big smile on my face, just kind of smiling. Just be like,
of course.
Come on, show me. What's all this? Because I'm pointing at the chest.
Yeah, you're pointing at the woman's chest, and she stands up.
Well, I'm pointing at my chest and then pointing at hers. You know.
Oh yes. Oh yes. This can be construed very easily in the wrong way. And she stands up and begins kind of clutching at her robes tighter, and kind of backs away from you very, very slowly.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. Marius will, put up his hands like, whoa. And I kind of make a gesture for the, like, around my neck. It's kind of like a chain.
Yes. And she stops for a moment and then kind of nods her head towards you, and then walks over to her bedroll and lays down.
I know you understand me, dear.
She never says anything, just walks over and lays down. If you'd like, you could make me an intuition test.
Okay, I would like to. I rolled a 45 out of 24. Okay.
She seemed confused, obviously. Probably, if this was our world, probably would be filing for sexual harassment. But being what it is, she, for all intents and purposes, she just a helpful woman that's been doing her best to patch you guys up night after night.
Yep.
So much suspicion drawn her way for no reason. I don't
so
understand
much suspicion.
So, Marius, the rest of your watch goes uneventful, or at least it should have. You hear a low, throaty growl from behind you.
I grab my pick.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Seamus snoring?
It is not Seamus snoring. It is coming out of the brush nearby. It sounds eerily familiar.
I'm gonna grab my pick and just kind of shout out, "Seamus, that damn tiger's back!" And I'm gonna grab my pick and just kind of because I've got night vision. I'm just gonna I'm going over towards it. Charging full stream.
Charging.
Okay.
You charge into
You
charge into the brush, in the direction of the low, throaty rumble. Immediately, as soon as you burst forth into the brush, you see nothing. You don't see anything at first. Then you hear the growl again, and you glance up, and there is a fully grown tiger above you in the trees, looking down at you. It opens its mouth.
I'm gonna fucking wear you.
You scream at it.
Yeah. And,
make me an intimidation check.
Okay. That is a 60 out of... Out of 60.
Oh, did you do you have any fortune?
I do have some fortune.
And do you want to re-roll it? Do you want to risk this?
Let me re-roll.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
let me roll because I forgot to take away 10 points anyway. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Let me roll. That is going to be a 24 out of 50.
Yes, much better. Let me roll for the tiger. The tiger, as you scream up at it, it kind of flinches away from you, and then turns its head, averting its gaze from the small man screaming up at it, and jumps to a nearby tree and then slinks off in the darkness. You quickly lose sight of it.
Piece of shit. And start stomping back to the campground.
Seamus, at this point, I'm assuming you're up.
Yeah, I think Marius made enough noise to wake me up.
Yep. And Seamus has his crossbow ready as a figure becomes emerging from the forest. This is where we make a dark deal, Seamus.
Oh!
If you so choose, you can take a shot. It will hit, if you so choose. You will be shooting Marius Wolf. And I will remove a point of corruption from your soul. Or you cannot. The ball is in your court.
Alright. Let me do a quick roll here to see if I noticed Marius not being there. Alright. I will not shoot him because I noticed he's not there.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
It's him.
Dark deal's off the table. Dark deal's off the table. As Marius emerges from the forest, Seamus has his crossbow trained in that direction. I'm assuming you're boasting about how you scared the lion off.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, Seamus, go back to sleep. He's fucked off. And just kind of go back to my log and continue my watch.
Okay. Beast of a man, Marius, screamed a lion away. It's fantastic. So, you drift back to sleep, Seamus, and the rest of your watch, Marius, goes uneventful. Besides that one instance, the creature does not return. Yet. It is the next day. Both of you guys make me endurance tests. Plus 20. Okay. This will be to recover wounds.
All right.
I got a 64 out of 82.
64 out of 82. All right.
I got a 17 out of 80.
So you just you recover your toughness bonus plus your success level in wounds. Seamus, I guess you didn't need the roll because you're full.
Nope.
Marius, you recover yours.
All right.
Yeah, Seamus, you already recovered your point of exhaustion, correct?
Yeah, I only had 1 point.
Okay, yeah, so you're good. Marius, you're down to just 1.
Okay.
Okay, so you have 1 point of exhaustion instead of 2. All right, and the day is yours. You begin to break camp, and you're just a few hours away from the from hopefully your salvation.
I will lead the way. I need to make a perception.
Yes, please do.
Oof. That's a 55 out of 51.
Okay, that is a fail. Unless you can just make it a success if you want, or you can re-roll it if you got any fortune.
Yeah, I've got fortune. Let me spend one.
Okay.
That's even worse. That's a 65.
So, yes,
Oh, no.
when this happens. So, Seamus believes he's going in the right direction. Marius, go ahead and give me an intuition test.
Oh, my intuition's terrible. All right.
We're so close.
Oh yeah, that's bad. That's a 56 out of 24.
All right. The paths kind of diverge at a certain point up ahead. And Seamus, you're going in the right way. Definitely you're going the right way. You take the closest path to your right. You are on said path for 6 hours before you realize I should have been at the mountain already.
Oh no.
And you're glancing around, and the sounds of battle are getting louder and louder and louder the closer you're getting to what you now realize you're going in the direction of the beach. You quickly correct course, and within an hour, what should have only taken you 2 or 3 has taken you 7 to 8 hours at this point. You find the stairs. Finally, the long carved staircases into the mountain itself that lead up to the entrance to the tunnel that will hopefully take you from this cursed land. What are you guys doing at this point?
Is it probably nighttime?
It is not nighttime. It is afternoon. So I'm assuming you guys probably ate some lunch at some point or some breakfast. You guys have plenty of supplies to do so. We don't need to roleplay that out. But it's not dusk or not dusk. It's not dusk or anything like that, but it is mid-afternoon. You're probably looking at like 3-4 o'clock.
Well, look back to Marius and shall we start going?
If you want to. I kind of reach into my pack and grab out the book. I look towards our people here.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's a language barrier between us, but what we're about to do is going to be very dangerous. I don't know how to explain what you will see, what beings are in this evil place, but some of you will die. All right, Seamus, let's get this show on the road. And then I start. I get the book out completely, and I take the key, unlatch it.
Okay.
Like I did before.
All right.
And see if it goes to that page which had the blood and the trees and
Okay.
all that good stuff.
So you're doing this at the base of the stairs. You haven't moved.
Oh, okay. No, I'm sorry. I thought we were at the
Oh no, you're not up there yet.
front of the tunnel.
Are you gonna? Do you want to
Okay,
wait to do it
okay.
when you get up there?
Yeah. That's
Okay,
what I want to
okay.
do.
All right. So you make this rather unnerving speech, Seamus. You hear this? The people they don't know what he's saying. They're just kind of looking at him. The woman appears to be trying to she's answering questions apparently. At least that's what you think she's doing. You're not sure. But they just begin following you as you begin climbing the stairs. It's at this point that, the smells have been getting intense even without wearing any masks. The smell of death is heavy on the air. The smell of fire, the smell of battle. And it's getting louder and louder. At this point, there's smoke has been coating big billowing clouds of smoke have been wafting back and forth as the wind changes direction. And as you begin climbing the stairs, you finally are up out of the forest. As soon as you get out of the tree line, the view opens up behind you. And the both of you, almost out of some instinct, glance back around at the scenery that you first saw when you arrived. You can see over the top of the forest, there are definitely fires burning off in the distance. In fact, you can't see the town that you were taken captive in. There is nothing but thick black smoke coming in from that direction. A lot of smoke, as if the entire town has been burning. You can hear fighting, and as you glance out over the vast ocean, the vast watery expanse, there's a mountain that appears to have made way into the nearby waters overnight. It's massive. And as you focus more, you realize it's not a mountain. It's some kind of fortress, because there are spires. There are siege equipment mounted on high walls and towers. And even from this distance, you can see that there are some kind of beast poking its head in and out of the water around it. A massive, gargantuan creature of some kind. The walls are black. The mountain itself, the fortress itself, is carved out of some kind of black stone. And you can hear callings from the water around it, as there are an innumerable fleet of ships. Some of them are very similar to the Dark Elf ships you found beached on in the sand all those weeks ago. But there are also many that appear to be of Nipponese men, of the military might of the land of Nippon, that are currently engaging in a massive sea battle out in the ocean. And there are cannons firing from the ships. Though you've never seen a cannon up close, either of you. You've definitely heard of them before. And big clouds of black smoke are wafting from these ships as they sink others and are sunk themselves, as there are boarding parties of elves jumping to the men's ships and back and forth. And then you glance down further down towards the beach, where you guys were ambushed and almost pincushioned to death. And you see that making a move towards the town might have been a very, very, very grave mistake, as there are figures on the beach itself. There are several ships that have been pulled up onto the beach. Dark elf ships, for sure, judging from the jet black color. And there's a much larger ship that apparently is too big to get close enough. It has anchored out in the distance. But there is something emerging from the water. And as this creature emerges, as there are elves scampering back and forth on the beach, you can see them clearly, though they are a mile, maybe multiple miles off in the distance. You can still see the elves gathering back and forth, gathering into companies of men and venturing into the forest, probably to do battle or raid or God knows what. And out of the sands, out of the tide, comes this colossal, multi-headed creature that you can see clearly as day. It has 7 heads. A large, thick trunk of a quadrupedal body, and a long tail, and each head is gnashing back and forth, attached to these long, slender necks. And there is another elf whipping it behind it. So there are actually 2 whipping it behind, getting it to pull itself up out of the water and onto the beach. And it breathes fire into the air, almost like a dragon. It is a horrifying sight. But that's not the scariest sight as you keep watching, almost mesmerized at what's unfolding. You've never seen so many people, so many combatants in one place. Even the Beastman raid that you guys survived back in Sealburg has nothing in comparison to the amount of military might on display. And the most unnerving aspect about this is not the Hydra, or the elves, the many corsairs, and apparently the scantily clad women that are frolicking back and forth. There's another that walks out onto the beach, not clothed in the armor of the corsairs. It is, from what you can tell, a woman, judging from the, how do I put this? Cloth material that is covering her in a way. You can make out that it's a woman, essentially. We'll leave it at that. There is skin exposed. It is certainly a dark elf. She's very tall. She's wearing a large headdress that has multiple horns curling from it. And she's holding a long piece of possibly wood or metal, darkened metal, with a red gem encrusted on the top of it. And there is a long billowing cape coming from her shoulders. And she appears to be giving direction to the elves on the beach. And then she suddenly stops and looks up in your direction. And then points the staff in your direction. And somehow the two of you know that for some reason she is looking straight at the both of you. What are you guys doing?
Seamus, I don't think I didn't think this place could get any worse. I was clearly wrong. Let's get out of here. I don't know what's going on, especially with that woman.
I think that's a good call, mates. Let's go.
Sure. And so I'll turn back towards the tunnel, I guess, or the portal.
Okay. You guys turn back, start moving up further up the stairs, almost to the embankment where you'll be able to see the portal. And as you shift back around, the other people that you were traveling with notice your kind of blank stares, and you hear a few cries, almost like in shock, coming from the men behind you as they gauge the sight that unfolds before them. And you do notice, Seamus, since you have the better perception normally, just before you guys turn around and start making your ascent, you notice that she glances over the woman on the beach at a large group of elves, specifically the more naked elves, the witch elves. There appears to be a fair number of them on the beach. It then points back in your guys' direction, and they quickly disappear into the woods. And then you turn around and begin ascending. So how quick are you guys moving up this mountain at this point?
Oh, gee.
I would assume faster than a normal pace.
Okay.
A hurried pace.
A hurried pace. So it normally would have taken you a couple hours to get up towards the top. There's quite a few stairs. At a hurried pace, it will not take as long. There might be some disadvantages incurred at the top if something were to happen. Of course, nothing will, but if something were. So, who's
All right.
leading at this point, or are you guys shoulder to shoulder?
Probably shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah, I mean, if we can.
Okay.
As long as it's
Yeah,
wide
you
enough, I
can.
guess.
It's wide enough for you guys to walk by besides each other. It's also the steps are. It's going to be difficult for the horses to keep up, but you get the idea that they are making good headway with the men leading them. Nobody can ride on them while they're ascending the stairs. It's very awkward, but you get the idea that they should be able to make it up with you. These aren't like the stairs you scaled up the colossal mountain. They are much more. It's a much more gradual ascent. So you begin making your way up there, and you do see the telltale markings that you did before of the kind of altars with the candles placed around them, and like the feathers and the various other things, and the markings of some deity, some possibly evil deity across them. As you go up, about every couple minutes you pass one, and you will notice that the candles are all lit this time. They weren't before. And they're all shedding a blue light, very similar to the candles you found in the monastery itself. I need both of you guys to make me perception checks.
Wow.
With your disadvantages.
Okay.
All right.
So, Seamus, you're good. Marius, -10.
Okay. I rolled a 3 out of 30.
That is fantastic. How about you, Seamus?
A 53 out of 51.
Okay. All right. Do you want to keep that?
Yeah, I'll keep that.
Okay. You guys begin ascending. You cover pretty good ground. And because you're moving at a hurried pace, I subtracted a success level from your perception checks. But you had 2 success levels, Marius. So that is good. So you have a level of success when it comes to your perception check. As you guys are scaling the mountain, Marius, you're the first one that notices. As you begin cresting the top, you're almost to the top of the stairs, where it levels off into the very wide, flat area where you could find the tree with the hanging men, the cherry blossom tree, and of course the portal out of here. Marius, you start hearing whispers coming from up top of the kind of rock shelf up there.
Do I recognize what type of whispers they are? Like language?
You don't recognize the language.
Okay.
Yeah, it's unrecognizable as far as this is concerned.
Okay.
It is rhythmic, though.
Do I have time to tell Seamus that I hear whispers?
Yes, you do. You catch it in time. You are almost to the top, but you catch yourself just in time that you have the time to kind of stop everyone if you so choose.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, kind of halt everyone. Kind of like throwing up my arms. Looking at Seamus. Seamus, I think there's someone up there. I hear whispers.
Hi. Do we have to pass them to get where we're going?
If you will remember when you came out of the tunnel, the only way up was the stairs. The only easy way, that is. You, of course, could maybe try to scale the side of the mountain if you so choose. But there wasn't much up there. There's not a lot of places to hide, and there weren't a lot of. There was no other route directly to the tunnel. But you might be able to possibly surprise them if you so choose to make a few athletics tests and a few other things to attempt to get an advantage on them from possibly a unexpected angle.
Yeah, I guess we just try to stealth up as best we can, you know?
Let's say, maybe we can split up. You're pretty good at climbing rocks, and I can maybe sneak around.
That is true.
Very well. If that's what you want to do, I'll lead our people up, and you come around from behind, I guess.
Who is going to scale the side of the mountain to try to get at a different angle?
Hopefully Marius.
Oh, me? Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you said you.
Well,
Okay.
You can't.
I
I can't remember if you have like that talent or not.
He does. He has Rocky Strider.
I do. I do have a Rocky Strider. So, I can do that. Marius would be like, perhaps, yes. I should probably scale this mountain. You lead our people up, and I'll, as quickly as I can, move across the side of the mountain.
All right.
Okay. All right. Marius, you diverge. You're only probably 10, 15 feet up. You see a decent path that you could probably take up the side of the mountain here.
Okay.
I will need an
I'll take that
athletics
then, I
check.
guess.
But
Can I make a
because of
climb
your
check?
climb check, excuse me. But because of your Rocky Strider, I'll give you a plus 40 on the check.
Well, that's 100 for me.
Okay, well in that case, there is no check needed. You got it.
All right.
No check needed. You begin scaling the side of this mountain. However, I will need a stealth check
Okay.
Yeah.
from both of you if you are moving stealthily, Seamus.
I am. Oh yeah. I critted that.
I did not crit, but I did pretty well. I got a 10 out of 26.
Okay, wow. Okay, good. So very also uncharacteristically stealthy this time around.
Yeah.
You begin moving simultaneously up. Seamus, you take the stairs. Are you taking the people with you, Seamus?
Probably not. Unless they don't understand me when I make the military,
Yeah,
fist up
you
signal.
just
and
hold
make
your
them
hand up and they freeze, and you can climb up as you please.
stop. I got a 22 on mine if it matters.
Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, no, that's really good. And Marius did good as well. Okay, so here is what happens. Seamus. Marius is currently climbing up the side of a mountain. He's good, but the stairs are obviously much quicker, so you are the first one to see anything. You begin creeping up, kind of crouching down as best you can, trying to get the angles appropriately where you think, hopefully, someone will not see you climbing up the stairs. And almost ninja-like, without making any sound, you begin creeping up, and you see as your vision crests over the top. You see the familiar rock shelf. It's not extremely wide. You're looking at probably 20 or 30 feet wide up here, where it's kind of flat before it becomes more mountain once again. The tree is off to your left. It's going to be another 60, 70 feet off to your left. And off to your right, there isn't much room at all. There's only about 10, 15 feet before it falls off into a cliff. But those aren't the important aspects of what you see, because you see something much more disturbing. Specifically, the portal where you know that you guys need to leave from. The altars around the sides of it appear to be in place. The offerings and decorations are there. The raven mask is hanging above. But there's some more things there now that weren't before. First of all, you see two humanoid figures covered in head to toe with lacquered wooden armor. One of them has what appears to be two swords crossed on his hip. The other has a large sword dangling from his. And they are both looking out in the direction of the stairs. Further past them, you see two more humanoid figures. They are naked from the head to their waist. They're sitting cross-legged at the portal, and they are chanting together. And something is happening. The portal is shifting. The rock itself appears to be cracking, as if this ritual goes on for too long, there may not be a way out of this godforsaken land. What are you going to do?
I assume I don't see Marius anywhere.
You don't see him. He's trying to find a way around, probably off to your left. He's going to pop up somewhere in that direction.
All right. Would I be able to see him or no when he does come up?
That's going to be chance. We will see.
All right. In that case, are the shirtless guys in range?
Yes, everyone is within range of your crossbow. The men closest to you are within 15 feet, though with your critical success, they cannot see you. You are covered just in the right way, and there happens to be just a little bit of a cloud of smoke has blown in your direction as concealed your presence. Past them, it's another 15 feet to the monks that are chanting at the portal itself.
Right. Knowing my history with those shirtless men, I'm going to unsling the crossbow and take a shot at one of them.
Okay, so we are going into combat. And I need Marius and Seamus to roll me initiative.
Oh yeah.
I got an 8.
Okay.
I got a 12.
12. Okay. That's good. All right. And you are taking aim at one of the monks, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So you take aim at the one closest to you. Let's say the one on the right. And you notice he has almost a red cloth kind of tied around his left wrist, as it is kind of upheld in the direction of the portal, and there appears to be energy, some kind of crackling on his fingertips, and it's in the direction of the portal, which might be part of why it is shifting and changing. Go ahead and make me an attack, sir. At plus 20, because they are very surprised.
Ancestors' favor. Ooh, that's an 18. And plus 20 is a 76.
Oh, wow. Okay, so,
Nice.
All right, let's see here. 18, 68, 14
so
damage.
Levels.
Yeah, 40, yeah. That's 15 damage, excuse me. Wow, that is impressive. Okay. 15. Okay. So. Jeez. Oof, that was rough. So you take the monk as he has his hands held high. you actually shoot the left arm that's extended. And the bolt pierces through the bicep. He was not expecting this. And you hear his chanting stumble in the process. Oh, gee. Let me roll on this table real quick.
Oh, is he going to blow up?
He might. He might.
Oh, yeah.
This is not going to be good for you, Marius. I need all of you guys to make an athletics test.
Oh, no.
All right. Oh, 15 out of 26.
Thank God. How about you, Seamus?
I got a 10 out of 30.
Okay, that's also a very good thing since you're both on surfaces that might have led to your death. As the ground, as soon as his mutterings fumble, the world, the mountain itself begins to shake as if it was under immense pressure, like an earthquake. And the rocks above begin to shimmer and fall. And the ground beneath your feet shifts. But, Seamus, you manage to stabilize yourself and not fall backwards down the stairs. And Marius, you are in a very compromised position and could have fallen off of the sheer cliff face that you are now on. But you hold tightly, cliffhanger style, one arm extended, holding on, just holding there, using all your strength to keep you steady. And the quake quickly dissipates. The samurai that you see, the two samurai, have their feet steadied as well. And the other monk also is steady. But the one that was shot falls face down. He is not dead, but he looks like he's getting up and he's clutching at the bolt in his arm, and it looks like he's going to rip it free. Is there anything else you would like to do, Seamus, since you engaged this?
No.
Okay. It's at this point in time, combat has officially started. This is also the time that we are going to end this session of Rise of the Forsaken. And we will pick up right where we're leaving off in the next episode.
Damn it.
Gee.
Oh, yes. So we'll see what happens. Oh, man, you almost killed each other. That would have been really bad. Yeah. All I could see was just Marius not passing his athletics check and falling off the side of this mountain to his death.
Would I have known that?
No, probably not.
Where'd Marius go?
He just never would have showed up. That would have been it. So yeah. So man, awesome session, guys. Awesome session.
That was fun.
It's great.
You survived. It's going to be. This is gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough. But you got it. You got it. I believe in you. I believe in you. Favorite moments from the crew?
I enjoyed my little shift into darkness and power again.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah. And killing what I assumed was that boss witch elf in one shot.
Yep. You critted, and she was bleeding profusely, so she just died within a round. It was a good shot. I'll tell you that. It was a good shot. So, how about you, Marius Wolf?
Impressed.
Yeah, I know. Marius definitely was impressed.
I don't know. Maybe my favorite part was just seeing the witch elves and the dark elves and the the Nipponese fighting each other, on the beach, the Hydra coming out, and then
Oh yeah.
the sorceress or whatever, whoever
Oh
she
yeah.
is.
Yeah, there's
Seeing
somebody
us.
down there. You don't know who it is.
Is it Marathi?
You don't know. You don't know who it is.
Oh,
don't know.
okay. Just a question. It's a question.
You better hope it's not Marathi.
I do hope it's not Marathi.
But yeah, there's something afoot for sure. But yeah, my personal favorite was Marius Wolf yelling at a lion and making it go away.
Oh, it's true.
Pretty impressive feat.
Oh, thanks.
I rolled very poorly for that animal. I was looking forward to it mauling you as
soon as it jumped down on me.
Yes, it was. But you had a hell of an intimidation check, and I just didn't roll well enough. It's not exactly a brave creature, so
Yeah.
so it took off. Worked out in your favor. You
I'm
guys
sure it's
handled
not
the witch
used to it.
elves pretty well. I will say that. There were definitely some good tactics in play. That could have gone so much worse. If the third one would have been present, it would have been a different encounter for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, that went pretty well. Seamus is turned into some kind of, I don't know, super edgy, like darkness incarnate. He has heads carrying with him for
Has
some
heads
reason.
dangling on his hip.
Head dangling, almost mummified heads dangling from his hip. Yeah, he turns into an aspect of death at this point. It's kind of creepy, but yeah. So there is that. But awesome game, guys. I had fun. I hope you guys did as well. I would like to say thank you to all of our loyal followers, all the people following the campaign thus far. Thank you guys for watching. We enjoy putting on the show. And, of course, we enjoy the comments you guys give us. So let us know your thoughts on today's episode. And, man, I am looking forward to picking this up again very soon. As usual, guys, I've been Jumbo Thick. Thank you very much for watching. And I hope to see you in the next episode. Have a good day.